My name is Daniel Desama. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program for American South Hampshire University, and I'm conducting this interview ahead of my academic work. So I'd like to ask you some questions, but with your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in a project called Government and Youth. I'm working on um, in a goal called Contribute to the Society project. The interview will be used to create government and do and submit to CfA so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be only used to for this purpose. So the interview information will be temporarily stored in the CfA online evaluation system to which only the evaluator and Code for America staff will have access. Do you have any question? No. Great. Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded? So if you agree, you just read this statement so that we can have a record.
Okay, my name is Francis Atonimana. I give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of student academic work.
Okay, thank you. So I will be asking you some questions about the government. How is the United States government? So the first question is, what are the three branches of government?
I think there is executive, also the legislative, and judiciary.
Wow, that's great. So the second question is, what does each branch do?
Executive, I think, is president and ministry, so it's the part that take the decision in the country, I think. And legislative is about studying the laws and things like that. And judiciary is the part that implement the laws to people, to society.
Okay, that's great. So, do you know that there is people like to talk about democratic and republic as two major parts? Can you name a third part?
Is there a third part?
Yes, if you have any idea, which is it?
I just know the two big parts.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, it's okay. So, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so thank you so much. This is all. Hello everyone, my name is Dohenda Sawa. I'm going to present to you about the project Government and You in the resources called, under the goal called Contribute to the Society. So some of the questions that most of people are having is, what are the three branches of the US government? We have legislative, we have judicial and executive. So, and the second question was about what does each of those three branches do as a role. So here we are going to see the role of these three branches and how they complete each other. So the first branch is legislative. Legislative is also called Congress, and it's the main law of the registration of the legislative. Is the main its its main role is to make laws, to vote for laws. For instance, the legislative part is divided into two parts. One part is called Senate. It is called Senate, and there is 100 senators, and two from each step through, and they have like two from each state. And another part is called the House of Representatives. So the House of Representatives meet together and discuss ideas and decide if those ideas are going to become laws. So those are their main role as the legislative branch. For the second branch is the executive branch, and the executive branch, the head of the executive branch is the president, and he's the one who can amend or refuse like a law if a law is going to become if an idea is going to become a law, or if a bill is going to become a law. So the main responsibility is executing laws that the legislative branch passes or made. The president is also known as the commander of the army force. That's why he's on the force of everything. The executive part, its main role is executing laws that the legislative has voted. So the third part is the judiciary, and the judiciary, its main role is so the main, as I was saying, the main role of the judicial branch is having it has the Supreme Court and nine justices. So the judicial branch is responsible for interpreting the laws that has been passed by the legislative and executive branch. So its main role is just like if a law has been voted has been made in the legislative branch, and the president just enforce it. So it's the task for the judicial branch to just interpret the law. So those were the board of the three branches of the U.S. government. So the other question was that in U.S. Many people know that there are two parts, the Republican and Democratic parts, but there is another third part that most of people doesn't know. So I'm here to present you about the main parts and a brief history of the two parts, the Republican and Democratic part. First of all, the Republican Party was founded in the northern states in 1854 by anti-slavery activists, modernized ex-wings and ex-free soldiers. It's become the principal opposition to the dominant Southern Democratic Party. The Republican Party first came to power in 1860 with the election of Abraham Lincoln to the presidency in control of Congress. That's how the Republican Congress Party was uh, started in the United States, and still now is still one of the major political parties the U.S. government is having. So the other part is Democratic Part. Democratic Part was evolved from anti-federalist factions that opposed the fiscal policies of Hamilton in early 1790. So Thomas Jefferson and James Madison organized this faction into the Democratic Republican Party. The parts, the Republican Party was favorite state rights and strict adherence to the Constitution. And so the Democratic Party was opposing a national bank and welfare for the managed interests, and it gained the power in the election of 180. So those are the main parts that the U.S. government is having, and those are the main political parts that plays like an important role in the election. So we are going to see the third part that many people doesn't know. So when in the US system they say the third part is referred to like any political parts that to any political parts which is not the Republican and Democratic parties. So even if we are going to see the impact of the third part, even though it is called the minority, it has been influencing some political decision in the past, and it's still now influencing some political elections. So even if the American structure has consistently been a two-part system, the third part sometimes influences election, and their candidates obtain in their candidates have been obtaining elected positions in the past. For example, in the past, Socialist Party held 600 mayor officers, and also there is Theodore Roosevelt who obtained a significant number of votes in his presidential election as the Progressive Party candidate in 1912. So that was something that's really remarkable, that the third part, or the minority part as they like to call it, has been obtained as important places in the government of the U.S., even though they have like the minority. So in addition to that, we know that in the U.S. political parts, the third parts rarely win the election in American campaign. However, the third part candidates can have been shifting national attention to particular issues, and sometimes they can take votes away from major political parties. Uh, and also, the third part candidate has been influencing the outcome of the election. Those are the important impact that those third parties have been making in to influence the election or other political decision in the U.S. system. So we are going to the fourth part, which is very, very important, on how can an idea or like a bill become a law. So here I'm going to elaborate some step on how can an idea or a bill become a law. So we're going to see how some steps on which the bill passed through before it comes a law. So first of all, the bill have to be introduced in the House of Representatives, and second, they have to send it to the committee, and when the committee received it, they have to debate on it, and if they debate on it, they pass if they debate on it, if passed in the committee, they send it to the main floor. After it passed to the main floor has to debate about that bill presented, and they have to pass to the vote. After passing to the vote, they can send the bill to the next House of Congress. That's where they have also to vote. They have to study the bill, and then if it is voted, they just sent it to the joint committee, and the joint committee have to do the same as in discussing about it and vote about it. If it's passed, they just sent it to the president. As I said in the executive part, that the president is the one who can just enforce the law if it's passed from the legislative branch. And if the president voted, it has to be sent to the Supreme Court. As I say, that the main role of the judiciary part is just to interpret a law if the president amend it. So that's how like an idea or a bill becomes a law. So if you have any question, I have inserted a reference list where you can go and explore more about government US and structures and how it works. Thank you very much. Hello once again. So I'm going to present you another part of this project, government and use. So there is we're going to talk about how the balance and checks works with the three main parts of the US government: legislative, judicial, and executive. So this is how the branches and checks work. All of the branches share the power, and they keep the balance through check and balance. This is a method applied where other branches can check your role, meaning approving it or balance it through complementing the other branches action. This means that like each there's three branches, like executive, judicial, and legislative, has to complement each other through the balance and check. So this is an example. For example, the legislative branches create law, but the president has the right to vote, the right to accept or veto the law, and the judicial branch can decide that the law is like unconstitutional. This is how those three branches work with balance and checks, which means that they complement each other by checking if each role, for example, as in the example that I give in the legislative, where the legislative part can like make the law, but the president as a member of the executive part can can choose to vote it or veto the law, and the judicial part can judge the law unconstitutional. So this is how they check each other. So for more information, you can just check my reference list. Thank you.